Uh, Ready to go, Percival?
Hello, Murph. This is not Monkey. This is the person you're seeking from the other side.
What?
What question do you have for me from the great beyond?
Are you okay, buddy?
I assure you that this is not Monkey. This is a voice from the great beyond. You have summoned me with your board, your magical board.
Oh, my Ouija board? We did talk about summoning Roger. Is that you, Roger?
A size 11 shoe.
Oh, um, I didn't realize Roger was that large of a guy. I guess size 11's fairly normal.
He runs his own popcorn stand.
Popcorn? Well, that would be great for the show, don't you think, kids?
Only on Tuesday nights.
What? Only on Tuesday? Not on Friday?
Occasionally, here in the great beyond.
I don't know if popcorn will be any good from the other side. Will it get here? Roger, do you have any winning lotto numbers for us?
We don't have use for that here. This is the great beyond.
Of course you have no use for that.
Don't get hammered.
Now what? Don't mind if I do.
Especially don't drink Monkey's imported Japanese gin. That's naughty. And get hammered and seek spirits from the great beyond.
Okay. You're not Roger. If you're a ghost, you're like the ghost of yourself, Percival. What the fuck? Hi, kids. We had us a bit of a spectacle there in the while we were trying to shoot the cold open. Now Sabrina's not here. We weren't going to read an email tonight, but I was going to talk to you about Harold Bigelow. I guess we'll save that for next week.
Right. And you're homie, I suppose. So some sort of a clown collaborative. He was a brother in arm, a pal of the paint. What were you? You and this Harold Bigelow. You went to college together. Some schoolmates. Whatever happened to Harold Bigelow? Who the fuck is Harold Bigelow?
Oh, you're back. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I do have an update on Harold Bigelow, but we're going to save that for next week, okay? Maybe we'll get Sabrina back. Meanwhile, you can read the news article on my Instagram and I think also on my Twitter with 2Ds. I don't have your Japanese gin. I have some Canadian whiskey. It's like a cranberry orange whiskey punch. And this Canadian, it's a good sipping whiskey, Pendleton. And you know how, like, bourbon can have, like, too much whiskey for some drinks, like, especially if there's 2 shots in it. But this, a lot of the time, like, I made a Manhattan with this, and it wasn't enough whiskey flavor for a Manhattan. But fortunately, I had some Elijah Craig rye, which is, like, delicious whiskey flavor. But this is good in a lot of other drinks, and it's not bad in this. I might try the rye in this, but yeah, I don't know, because you're putting a shot of brandy in there too, so you're kind of like fruitying it up. I think we had this a couple of weeks ago, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it. Tonight we have us a silent double feature from the 1920s, and it's kind of a Lon Chaney senior. Let me throw that out there. Lon Chaney Sr. double feature tonight. The Man of 1,000 Faces. Maybe you've heard of him? I would think you've heard of him if you watch my show. This, and this guy right here, Carl Laemmle, was the owner of Universal Pictures. And whatever Universal Pictures was before it was Universal Pictures. So he produced all of the early Universal horror up until maybe 33 or 34. I think Carl passed on. This is the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Notre Dame, as it's actually pronounced, with Lon Chaney. A Universal production. Nobody else was in it. We'll just save that right there. 1923, Universal Pictures director Wallace Worsley II. That's right. Starring Lon Chaney. And my guess is that you all know this story. I mean, maybe you saw this movie. Maybe you saw later adaptations. I mean, this had to be made into a movie as many times as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. For hell's sakes. This is like one of those stories that you cannot escape, even today. Okay, the Hunchback Quasimodo, played by Chaney in this movie in one of his magical disguises. Slave of the dirty and underhanded brother of the archdeacon. Or maybe the semi-archdeacon.
You're a bit of a cheeky bastard, aren't you, then? A bit of a cheeky one.
At least he's back. The Hunchback's the main bell ringer there at the cathedral. Seems to be like the only job he can have. And is despised by all. Not because he's an ass or anything, just he's, well, fucking ugly. He scares the kid, makes kids cry. Scares the wives at church. Said dirty brother and the newly appointed captain of the Royal Guard, I can't remember his name, but they're vying for the affections of the same woman. The beautiful gypsy girl Esmeralda. You know what? This is a fucking Disney movie, too. So I know you know the story. You've seen the Disney movie at the very least. The captain of the guards woos her the old-fashioned way, you know, with ridiculous chivalry, which can only be found today in romance novels and Hallmark movies. While the deacon's creepy brother resorts to more nefarious efforts, trying to force her to marry him. He even has Quasimodo try to kidnap her, standing in the shadows as the Hunchback is hauled off to jail and eventually receives a whipping for his crime. Her adoptive father, meanwhile, is plotting to overthrow the government with his army of Skid Row bums. It all comes to a head when the creepy brother stabs the captain in the back. And Esmeralda is accused of the crime. She is sentenced to death by the king, and as she does her last penance on the steps of the cathedral, Quasimodo sees her and remembers that she was kind to him. She was always kind to him. So he sees his chance to rescue Esmeralda. Her father gets word of the plight and storms the cathedral. Quasimodo must fend off the angry vagrants until the royal guard arrives to save the day. Now, I'm even a little bit confused here. How is the royal guard going to save the day? Our swashbuckling captain, all healed and ready for action, finds Esmeralda, and spoiler alert here, you know I have those, but, you know, it's 1923. You haven't seen this? Oh yeah, you saw the Disney one. He finds Esmeralda, and they live happily ever after. Aww. While everyone else dies. Rich people. All right. Not as atmospheric and weird, nor as good as, say, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, because this is not, German expressionism. This is universal. And definitely overcomplicated. This is not the movie's fault. This is Victor Hugo. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. Chaney's makeup effects, though now dated, were brilliant for the time. The acting, as in most silent pictures, was way over the top. Stage hamming. And is very comical at times, I might add. This is definitely worth a see for the historical value. But, once is probably enough. And if you've seen the Disney movie, you need to see this one to balance it out at least. So I don't know that I'd give the Disney movie a 3. 3 rings. It's a 3-ring circus for feature 1. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Should I say that correctly? In America here we say Notre Dame. Okay. So, let's all go to the lobby, and we'll be sure not to drink any Japanese gin. I think I'm out of Japanese gin. Sorry, Percival.
Your gas station sushi is one thing, but bloody fucking hell, I will not accept any more bathtub gin. It must be imported from Japan. Good God, do you understand this, man? Can you comprehend that, please?
We're gonna make another whiskey drink though, because it's fucking winter. I'm not cold tonight though. I turned the furnace way down and I'm like burning up here in my clown suit. So cue the song.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy, the chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.